Now from the Weather Tracker TV Storm Studios, this is your weather today. Here's Chief Meteorologist William Cole.
All right, folks, here we go, right out of the gate on this Wednesday. And I tell you what, we've got some more really beautiful fall weather on the way as we go through this afternoon. Brilliantly sunny skies. Temperatures a little bit warmer, though. In fact, we'll be back up in the lower 80s. The southerly and southwesterly winds, those will also increase as we go through the day. There will be some fire danger developing in our western counties. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about a hotter weekend forecast. And then some good news. I'm tracking an opportunity, what appears to be an opportunity of some rain as we get into next week, maybe an opportunity of some heavier rain, and maybe even a multi-day rainfall event. So we're going to tell you exactly what that means coming up. And by the way, in about 10 days from now, it appears as though we've got a pretty decent Canadian cold front also showing up as well. But let's go and start here. This is what we did this morning. These were our morning lows, 40s, 50s, out the door, not quite as chilly as it has been. Again, you can see here in the Metroplex, mainly 50s, a few locations like Arlington, even down through Lancaster, even Mesquite, even up in McKinney. Those locations were in the 40s. So again, the jacket definitely needed out the door this morning. But again, as we go through the afternoon, you'll be able to lose the jacket. Again, definitely a warmer afternoon on the way. So as we look at radar here, number one here in the region, number two across the United States, the one thing you're going to notice, it's quiet. I mean, simply put, there is nothing going on. In fact, you have to look all the way up into the northern tier. We have a pretty potent upper level storm system. You can see it pinwheeling through parts of the Dakotas. Eventually, that's going to be pushing over towards the Great Lakes region. The only reason why I even mentioned that, it's going to give us no opportunity of any rain here locally in North Texas. But what it is going to do, you see this little blue line, it is a cold front, more or less just kind of a surface boundary. It's going to be pushed down into our area. It's going to make our winds become a little more variable as we go over the next 2 days, but there's no cold air with it, right? So it's more of a surface boundary. Our temperatures, in fact, heading into the weekend, they're going to be on the uphill swing. And in fact, as I mentioned, by the time we get into Saturday and Sunday, we're going to be closer to 90. One of the reasons for that is because the air mass is so dry, right? Dry air warms easier. So we'll see that heading into the weekend. It's not going to be a very humid weekend, but on the flip side of that, again, with the increasing wind, especially today, winds may be gusting 20, 25 miles per hour, the opportunity of fire danger is going to begin to kind of rear its head back up, so to speak. You can see, especially from Interstate 35 off to the west, areas of yellow going to orange, that would be elevated to high fire danger. So even our western counties, again, any kind of outdoor burning or more rural areas out there, any kind of outdoor burning, again, would not be recommended as we go through the afternoon. Okay, so let's go and break this down, right? These are the weather pieces of the puzzle that are trying to come together. And again, the key word is trying to give us that opportunity of rain as we get into next week. Number one, upper level storm system from today pulls off. You see that. Heading into the weekend, you can see it's a big ridging pattern. That's going to be the warmer to almost hotter weather in time for the weekend. But after that, begin to look down here near the California Baja Peninsula. That's going to be Norma. That's going to be a hurricane making landfall down there. She gets shredded in the Mexican mountains, but again, it's still a flux of moisture coming up into the southern plains. That's good on itself, but then also look at what we have. We have this big, deep storm trough. Wow, that looks pretty impressive there. That's also going to be coming out, kind of the 1-2 punch to try and give us that opportunity of not just some rain, but heavier rain, and again, maybe even a multi-day rain event. Again, I'll show you this on the 12-day coming up. Otherwise, as we go through today, tonight, even through tomorrow, again, simply put, the weather's completely quiet, really nothing going on. Trying to head out to the fair before it closes, or before it ends, really, I should say. You can see really good weather. Again, the next several days, plenty of sunshine, but definitely hotter. Again, as we get a little bit closer to the weekend. Again, it's a dry air mass, as we mentioned. Dew points today, they really don't even make it out of the 40s. So again, obviously aggravating that fire danger. So high temperatures today, generally in the 80s, some even some upper 80s out in our western counties. If you're making any kind of evening plans, temperatures basically through the 70s. Not quite as chilly of an evening as we've had over the last several days. And then you can see overnight back down into the 50s. So it'll be a cool start to our Thursday. And then as we go through Thursday, generally 80s. Again, some locations, especially out west, may try and push up towards 90. Again, you can see it's a steady warming trend for us all the way into the weekend, highs right up around 90. And then you can see by the middle part of next week, looking pretty unsettled there with an opportunity of rain, maybe even some heavier rain. More on that coming up.